not even related to the previous episode or stuff that we haven't seen. So it always keeps you glued to the screen, like, what's going on, right? And we did that with episode 2, where we start off with this pirate lady. Carol calls her pirate lady. And they're clearing bodies. She's flying on a plane. And up until minute 7, no one has spoken a word. We haven't even met the main character yet. But we're still glued to the screens. I love how he does that. And it's good to see that he has the same flair and the same kind of mystery and curiosity spiking storytelling in this new show. That's so far what I feel is the strength of it, because so far I still know nothing about what's going to happen. All I know is from all I've seen in episode 1 and episode 2, and that for me is a recipe for another goated show. A show that keeps you wondering, a show that keeps you hooked to the story, a show that keeps you invested in the characters because you want to see how their story plays out. There is the danger of, and which is a danger that sci-fi movies also makes sci-fi movies and properties and like TV shows falter, even comic books, which is there is a danger in getting lost in the concept rather than the story and the characters. Take, for example, Tenet by Christopher Nolan. Goated director, probably a favorite for many. But Tenet got tangled in its concept and its theme, which is the concept of entropy. And, you're moving forward in time, but you're in a universe where things are moving backwards. Now, on paper, it's an interesting story. Like, you don't fire a bullet, the gun comes to the bullet, and you also have to grasp and your mind gets boggled in this curiosity and trying to make sense of what things are happening. But prioritizing that means every time characters have to stop and explain what's happening. We don't have time to see and understand that concept through the lives of the characters. And even with the character, he didn't have a name. He was called the protagonist in Tenet. That is the danger that I hope Vince Gilligan will not face with Pluribus, because so far we have a very engrossing story, but we still are yet to understand what is the hive mind, what are they trying to achieve, who is the rest, who is we in terms of the universe, where did this signal come from. I hope that the story doesn't get entangled in trying to explain to us all these questions and this concept of the hive mind and how it works and how it's been invasive in the universe, and we end up losing sight of Carol's story, because so far she's been the one who is making us invested, and she's the one who is allowing us to make sense of everything. So if Vince Gilligan, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed. Again, I trust in Vince Gilligan. I trust in his storytelling, in how he keeps us glued. But if he lets the concept override, if he lets the concept want to grow bigger than the story, then this show may fall face flat on the ground and may not make it to the books of one of the goated shows in history. And that is what we expect of Vince Gilligan. So I'm praying for the man. I believe in him. I trust him. Let's stay tuned to see more episodes as they drop. So far, 2 episodes out. If you haven't seen them, go catch them. If you have Apple TV, nipatie logins. So we're going to go on a short break, ladies and gentlemen. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about Frankenstein.
Greetings. This is Eric Wanaina. Keep it locked here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.
Wadaudates. Welcome back to Certified Cinema. Welcome back from a fantastic music break. Short and sharp. Wase wangu wa uns nimewaplug hapo, watu wangu wa electronic music. Nothing slaps harder than a K-Tranada kick. Oh, and that's why we had K-Tranada with Do It. That was from his latest album. This song is called Do It, featuring TLC. And then finally we brought it back home because we like to play Kenyan music here. We had Mad G with Shake That Thing. So kama ukona kuela fine. Shake that thing. And now let's shake the reviews. Let's shake the world. I'm about to upset some people. Because I know this is not an everyday person's movie. Lakini sisi cinephiles, wacheni tu tusikie vizuri. Within my circles, I don't know about the casual viewer, but within my circles, we cannot stop raving about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Oh my God. Absolute masterpiece, man. I haven't watched a movie that this year that has had me so drawn to thinking about humanity, and that has made the feeling of beauty so prevalent within my mind. And I love that it does that by showing us kind of the grotesque nature of humanity through the Frankenstein monster. For those who don't know, Guillermo del Toro gives us his vision about the story of Frankenstein. And for my international audience, watu wangu from, if you're a Spanish-speaking individual, please, am I butchering the goat's name? Am I butchering? Is it Guillermo? Guillermo? Please, educate us, man. Feel free to leave a comment on Icon Radio KE on Instagram, or send us a voice note of how I pronounce it on our WhatsApp number running below your screen. So, this is directed by Guillermo del Toro, starring Oscar Isaac. You probably know him from Moon Knight in Marvel's Moon Knight. You know him from Star Wars. I mean, he's been all around. And starring Euphoria's Jacob Elordi. Jacob Elordi plays the Frankenstein monster, and Oscar Isaac plays Frankenstein himself. Now, like I said, this is adapted from the classical story of Frankenstein, the novel, which is a man. Frankenstein is a man of science who is obsessed with conquering death. He is a man obsessed with finding ways to create man, who to bring alive man, and a man who cannot die. And that's when the Frankenstein monster comes in. I believe we know the story. Like Halloween imepita juzi, kuna watu wamefanya cosplay ya the Frankenstein monster. You know, so he's a man of science. He picks up decayed body parts from the spoils of war. He's funded by his uncle-in-law to be. He puts together these body parts using the science, the knowledge of anatomy and science that he uses. And, you know, we all know the famous scene where he puts the body in a crucifix, puts up the lightning rod atop his tower. Lightning strikes, life is breathed into the monster, and then he goes, "It's alive, it's alive." We know that, we've heard of that, we know the story. But this time, Guillermo del Toro gives it more nuance. He gives the story more personality, you know. And I'm going to compare this to the 1930s movie, which I've seen clips of, so that we can get an understanding of why this is different and why this is it matters and why you should see it. Now, you see, the 30s movie was a bit theatrical. It was an introduction of the Frankenstein monster to the global audience. It was etching the Frankenstein monster into monster history, you know. That's why he's so timeless. That's why you have iterations of him, even in like the Addams Family, and that's why we cosplay him up to this day. He's a classic. But with this version, with the 30s version, he was more of a beast. He was just a mindless monster who is a freak of nature, who is going out exacting his revenge as to why he is in the world. And, you know, he had this more of a killer vibe going on. But with Guillermo del Toro, he takes a more personal and deep approach in telling us the story of each character. We get to feel Frankenstein, why he is who he is, why he's so obsessed with conquering death. We get to see the Frankenstein monster. How is it for him to be brought into this world unwanted and to be branded a monster, to want to experience the beauty of life, experience how you want to experience everything in its fullness, because you know life is fleeting, how lonely it is, or how it can be to be alive. And we also we have this overarching theme of death and how we look at it. Some people look at death as ending of life and tragic. Some people look at it as celebration. But all of us can agree, regardless of whether you stand, we can all agree that death is inevitable. And the question is it necessary? Some people would say yes, because that is what gives life meaning. We rush to spend time with our loved ones. We rush to achieve goals. We rush to achieve, whatever goals it is that we want. Is it fame? Is it money? Is it love? We all rush to get all this because we know our time here on earth is limited. And because we get the chance to enjoy and to chase these things and experience these things within a short period, that's what makes it beautiful, is it not? Let's argue about that. Are we here for a good time or for a long time? And that's what we hear people arguing about. I don't want to live until 70 or like 100 when I can't move, I can't feel my face, I can't chew because I don't have teeth, I'm struggling with my health. Like, let me be here for a short time because that's what makes life worth living, because I'm living fast, Is that how we should be living? Is that how we look at death? And that's what the Frankenstein monster kind of counters. Forgive me because I'm wrapping my head around this as we go. Now, I love that this story is a 2-chapter story. First, we see the story through Frankenstein himself. So we start with him. First of all, we start in a Vince Gilligan kind of way, because Frankenstein, so we expect to start with Frankenstein and his escapades. But we take a nonlinear approach. We start with this crew that has been stuck on their journey to the North Pole. So the ship is frozen in ice. They're struggling to dislodge it from ice so that they could be free and continue on their expedition. Now the captain is stuck in this position where the mission must be complete. We have to get to the North Pole. But his co-captain is telling him the men are demoralized. We have to sail back home. But then there's an explosion somewhere in the distance. They go there, they find Frankenstein with a broken leg, and all of a sudden there's this creature of the night that's attacking them, and it's yelling out for Frankenstein. It's yelling out for Victor Frankenstein. He's mowing down the captain's men, but his eyes and his target is fixated on Frankenstein. He gets Frankenstein, no one else has to die. But they manage to, there's this bit of an action scene, and they manage to push him off the boat. And so we sit down with Frankenstein, like, who are you? What's your story? What's going on? What is that creature over there? And then now he starts his life story, telling us about how it started with his father, which is, by the way, a weird thing, a weird place to start, because, imagine meeting someone and the first thing they tell you is, it started with my father and how he used to mistreat me, and he was the lead surgeon in the region, and I became obsessed with death. It's like, bro, I just want to know what is that creature, and why you were caught in an explosion in the middle of Oslo. Na wewe ni kilema uko na mguu moja. What are you doing out here, bruh? Tell me. But, the story itself is intriguing, that even at some point the captain was like, okay, tell me more, my boy. So, yeah, he tells us his story about his family, how his father was a surgeon, how he lost his mother, how he was also being brought into the family trade to be a surgeon. And after losing his mother, the pain he felt when he lost his mother, he decided, I will conquer death. I will find a way to reanimate life, and I will use this. I will become a better surgeon than my father and use that knowledge to conquer death. His idea of conquering death is bringing the dead back to life. And so he does that by collecting body parts. He knows the anatomy, he knows the nervous system, lymphatic system, the circulatory system. He does his best to conjure that up and convince the society of is it doctors of science, of medicine, yeah, that this is the way that we should go. But everyone thinks he's mad, of course, because why? Why would you want to do that? Everyone believes life is given by God, and God is the one who takes away that life. So he gets to meet a certain gentleman played by Christoph Waltz, who agrees to fund his research in exchange for something. He doesn't say yet. So he funds the whole thing, he allows the research, and then finally Frankenstein puts this thing together and he says, you know what, if this thing works, I want you to put my brain in this new body because I'm suffering from a certain infection and my time is up. And I want my new brain in this new body if it works. Of course, he disagrees. Things go haywire. He loses the man. And the Frankenstein monster is brought to life. So I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's also a lot about Frankenstein's brother, how he has eyes for his brother's